and welcome to episode 31 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all things Nintendo. Joining us this week, we've got Momo back.
I'm back from I'm back from a little bit of a spell. So it's good to be. I'm clearly a bit rusty, but it's good to be back.
Voice of Harrison, you just heard there. He's here as well.
Hey guys, welcome back.
And Sean is returning after taking a week off.
I got a bone to pick with you, Harrison.
Okay, what's that?
You severely underplayed the addictive nature of Vampire Survivors.
Oh no!
Oh, okay. Let's get right into it because that's in my what I've been playing section. So take it away. Go ahead.
Oh no, that hasn't been what I've been playing. That's where I've been living when I'm not working or sleeping. Wow, is that a good game? And it shouldn't be. Like, it's so simple, and I just wow, 3 hours went by, huh?
The loop is
as far as roguelites go, that is the ultimate. One more game, one more time. Yep. Like I got some coins. I got an upgrade. Garlic. I got some achievements. Oh yeah, the garlic. Always tweeting out the garlic. So how many hours did you think you played since the release?
I've probably put 12 hours into it already, and I've only had one 30-minute run. I
still haven't even got a 30-minute run. My highest is like 15, 16 minutes, and I can't.
I had one that was like 29, 45 seconds or something, and I got killed, and it was devastating.
Some of the new animations they've added to the game are great. So I've only played the co-op mode on Switch this week.
How is it?
I played it with my girlfriend who doesn't play video games at all, and I've always wanted to find like a game where like we could work together, but she doesn't really need to like do anything. And like I tell her while we're playing, like, hey, if you lose, we still win. If you're not good, we still get things, you know. Yeah. But every run we did, we got a little bit further and we got a little bit of a higher level. So even by the end, you know, she was like, okay, now we got to get 10 minutes or now we got to get 15 minutes. So I'm overall pretty happy. So in your runs, how has the performance been on Switch? Because it can get pretty crazy with the graphics.
Had it do slowdown once on the run that I got the almost 30 on was the library level, and there was just so much going on. I don't know what character I had or what I was doing, but that's the only slowdown I've seen. But my actual 30-minute run was smooth the whole way through. So
I was just trying to think, with the new local, is it just local play? You can't do online, correct? If I remember correctly, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do online. I don't know if we would ever see that next, and I don't know if there would be an issue, just the fact with like there would be like so much crossplay or too many servers, and there's just so many ways to play this game now. But I'm super happy to hear that.
I mean,
that
I'm with you. Just buy it. I got the DLC. I tried the DLC levels. They're insanely difficult. So I'm like, all right, I'm not ready for these. But since we've hijacked this entirely from Kevin, this is definitely a hit A game. So just save coins up and buy it, because it fits your whole category. I mean, you got to move the left stick, but
whoa! I'm not walking around in games. I want to press A and be done.
Well, there's still some pressing A, but like that's pretty much it though. Like you can't even really dodge or anything. So yeah, for sure. Like, it feels goofy. The game's like, oh, it's like 10% off right now. You will see it for like probably like half off during like the holidays or something. But yeah, and again, if you want to try it and you have like an iPhone, you can download it on your iPhone
for free
and just play it
for
a
free
few
as well.
minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You can just
Try
play.
it
You
out.
can just play it for free and just pay for the DLC.
And
But
the name of that game one more time for
Also-
listeners? If they
Vampire Survivors.
An addiction.
It's been like they posted yesterday. They've been like number 2 on
Nice.
on the eShop charts this week, and I just think that's great. They deserve all the recognition for putting out good content and not giving up on their game even when they've obviously made a lot of money on
But
this game.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Harrison, but the thing you got to take into account, like the game itself is visually, the sprite work is very good. The systems that make the game, the loop, the system that makes the loop, like you want to try one more time. Like you finish a run, you're like, oh, I want to go again. You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden, 3-4 hours later, oh my god, time's gone. Like the fact of the matter, it's like when was it Flappy Bird came out? Like it's such a basic game. The guy made so much money off it. This type of game is doing that. It started off as a mobile game, if I remember correctly. And then
Right. And no surprise, the developer of this game has worked on like online gambling
okay.
as well. Like
It shows.
because everything is intentional. Like everything, the lights going off. Like the first time when I was playing co-op, the first time when we hit the firework treasure chest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the dopamine you get from it is like, oh yeah, like we just got 5 upgrades, we got 1,000 coins, and like
game.
everything is just intentional to make you want to play more. So I think just the psychology around all of that is really interesting.
So because of that, I was watching the who made this? The No Clip documentary about it before we started recording. And Kevin, this is why Captain Olimar hasn't gotten home.
Well,
so
oh, I see what you're saying.
Completely derailed Pikmin for me, which I was
referring
enjoying.
to is he's playing Pikmin for the first time, and he was like texting me updates and stuff because I'm really into Pikmin right now.
Yep.
And his progress stopped at a certain point, so now I know why. You're right at the end of the game, man. Just finish it.
I know, and I'm just like, nah. This is updating. All right, let me just play Vampire, and then it's like, oh, it's time to go to bed. So I'm very happy and curse you at the same time, Harrison. But great suggestion. So highly recommend it.
Yeah, I could go on and on about it. I mean, yeah. Hey, Kevin, what have you been playing this week?
Playing, I just Grandia 2, like I did last. I've been talking about since last time. I did have like a kind of small talk thing that I wanted to bring up here. Is on the podcast before I have mentioned how I'm not a fan of the trophies that or achievements that Xbox has, and like I hope Nintendo doesn't like incorporate those into the new system and blah blah blah. And I saw almost like a proof of concept of that rant this week, where because I know it's for a competitor system, but the new Spider-Man game is coming out in October, and it made me want to replay the other Spider-Man games. So I fired it up on my PlayStation, and I noticed that I had platinumed the other Spider-Man game, and I have no memory of that. So that is further proof to me that the trophies are meaningless. You don't need to bother with them at all. It's just a way to extend gameplay and make people keep playing games that they're basically done with.
If I can,
but wait,
sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say if I can jump on the end of that I don't play PlayStation. I play Xbox in my spare time if I want to, or PC. Well, anyway, what I like about the Xbox thing, especially like Game Pass, is that when you earn achievements, you earn points and rewards, which you can put towards paying for another month of Game Pass or other things.
That PlayStation does not have, as far as I know. So that makes them at least worth something.
So yeah, but if you especially like Game Pass, if you like they might have a challenge, like challenges, like if you play this specific game or any game, or might have specific games, you play that or either cloud or install it and play it, and you get certain points. You get points, adds to your thing, and at the end of the month, whatever you got, you can save it and keep saving up month by month, or You can use it to spend it on stuff within the Xbox store or other perks and stuff like that. So at least for them, they kind of rewarding you for your achievements, stuff like that. So compared to PlayStation, where they obviously get the trophies, I'm not 100% sure, but I've never seen any or heard anything like rewards or anything like that going towards like you can use it to like a currency.
Yeah, I don't think
like
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
The only one I've ever heard of, and I didn't do it, and I don't know if they're still doing it if you achieve it, but if you platinum Bloodborne, they'll send you like an exclusive background.
Ooh,
that's a nice perk.
But I don't even know if they're still.
I mean, it's at least something.
That, so.
I shouldn't
but
be.
Other than that, I don't think there's anything else they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any game where like if you platinum it, they'll add you like to like the credits or something, or like they'll add you to like the next like the credits of like the next game? Or
yeah, but that type of stuff.
No, it's a cool idea.
Like the leaderboards.
That type of stuff entices you to like, I want to be the first. Like Diablo recently had like, if you're in hardcore mode, if you're able to make it to level 100 without dying, because if it's hardcore, you die once it's game over. You get put on like a statue in game, so people can see your name engraved or something like. So things like that. So I mean, when they do things like that, that entices players to like play their game like a lot to achieve that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely. Momo, what have you been playing?
Well, due to some downtime with some personal stuff, that's where I've been for the last few weeks. I haven't really been done much gaming or Nintendo. I've been playing a bit of I haven't finished Zelda yet, so I've been playing a little bit of that, but I had some other unfortunately some personal stuff going on, so I haven't really been gaming. So I've only been putting some time to Zelda still. I'm still slowly going for that because I don't want that game to end, so I've slowly just been hacking away at it. But other than that, no, unfortunately, I've just been a little bit too busy and preoccupied to play anything. So, but now that I'm back I'll looking forward to playing a lot of new stuff, depending what's going on coming up very soon. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, boys.
Nice. I've been playing a lot of things this week. I don't know. I guess perhaps I've been the opposite.
I've seen your Twitter, mate. You've been playing a lot of things.
Yeah, maybe been spending too much, maybe jumping around too much. But there's just a few games that came out this week that I was really interested in, and I'll just mention one right now. If there are any Jet Set fans out there, you should really play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, I just saw a video on that today. That actually is pretty good.
At least wait until it goes on sale.
So it's like Jet Set
pick it up.
Radio? You spray paint?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
You tag. So I'm only about probably like 2 hours into the story mode. But it's very similar. It has a great prologue. I don't know what time period, but it's definitely like got like the Y2K vibes, but maybe also kind of like a cyberpunk vibe as well. But you inline skate, you skateboard, I think you BMX, you tag buildings against other crews, and on handheld it feels super responsive. It's one of those games like Kevin, you just brought up Spider-Man. It's one of those games where like it just feels good to press buttons and grind and it's not the difficult game to play, I wouldn't say, but everything just feels really good. So if there's any Jet Set fans, I'll throw that one out there because I've been playing a lot of different games this week. I would definitely recommend that one.
I'll take it on board since I haven't had a look at it yet. So I'll take your suggestion on board, mate.
We've been talking a lot about Dreamcast and I think, or Jet Set or anything like that.
So moving into news, our top story and the story all over the social medias. Charles Martinet, longtime voice of Mario, retires. We all knew we were going to be talking about this week. So he's taking on the role of Mario Ambassador, which I tried to find out what they meant by that. It just seems to mean that he's going to represent Mario at like conventions and stuff still. I'm already dreading the new Mario voice is terrible comments we're going to see everywhere, where people were already cracking that the voice in Mario Wonder didn't sound like him. And I think it's kind of weird that they announced the news in this order. I feel like they should have announced he was, retiring first and then put out the Mario Wonder trailer. It's a weird order to do it in.
I mean, they could have said Chris Pratt's going to be the new voice.
Yeah.
Well, there was tons of speculation when the trailer came out that the voice sounded different.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
or perhaps
I feel like if they'd done it ahead of time, they would have avoided that.
Any thoughts why?
I think he's just trying to get out before his voice starts to wither. I mean, one thing I've talked to Sean about is if you're a fan of the show Futurama, on the new Hulu season, you can hear the age in their voices now, and it doesn't sound exactly like the show used to sound. And I feel like at a certain point he's trying to get out before that happens. That's just my theory, though.
I wonder that with technology now, I wonder if he can go into a booth, record his voice, and then like we're talking before we came on.
Like Siri.
Yeah, like before we started recording, we're talking about this to do with AI tools and stuff, and like in the future, there's a possibility if he can go through, say, phrases and things like that, and it records his voice, and some sort of AI, Nintendo can get his voice, and they're able to use it. Yeah, be able, and he's given consent to use his voice. Then technically, his voice will never die because they got all the over 30 plus years of Mario voices of him doing his voice. They can use that. They can use his current voice, and then they can kind of mix it together and then use it. Because some movies are doing it now. Like you look at movies like Star Wars or things like that when they try to de-age someone or someone who's passed away and they're using their voice. They use the AI to try and replicate the voice again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did that with Luke Skywalker, I think.
Yes, they did in The Mandalorian, which he actually sounded not too bad, actually. But that's what I'm saying. But the thing is with Mario, the only voice that he did, he wasn't really speaking much. It was all making his sound effects or, like, ooh, ooh, ha, ha, let's go, like that. Thank you. That was my Mario.
Well,
Momo is the new voice of Mario. Just want everyone to know that.
We're announcing here first. I wonder, because he's staying on as like a brand new role apparently, Mario ambassador. But I really wonder, throughout an entire year, how much time does he spend recording? Because I really don't know. Is it a little? Is it a lot?
Yeah, because that's the thing. I've definitely seen them discover that certain games just reuse Mario audio from other games. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 was heavily written about that. All the Mario clips in that were used from other games.
Well, speaking of which, also they've already announced that in the remake or remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, they're going to keep his work in the game because it's already being developed, which makes me wonder how much future work or how many remasters are we going to get that are still going to feature him?
Probably just stuff that if he was already in it, they're probably just reusing the audio they already had.
Right. But I just wonder what his job at Nintendo looked like, because obviously he did a lot more than just the voices, and he has been traveling around
I got an idea. I have a theory on this. Nintendo therapy theory. Since his voice is so iconic, Nintendo have locked down his voice as trademark, right? In a nice way. So going forward, anything that he does on his own that uses the Mario voice, it has to be in conjunction with Nintendo. You know what I mean? So he can't just go do an ad for an American TV, American something, and use his Mario voice as as part of the ad. You know what I mean? Or even him as himself, doing the thing. So I think ambassador role means that anything to do with marketing, like the Nintendo Land, like the anything to do with his voice being used. That's why I think Nintendo have kind of locked it down like that. So they've kind of like trademarked his voice as their own. I'm not saying
I honestly wouldn't mind if they changed the voice altogether, moving into like the Switch 2 realm. This conversation always reminds me of when because there's already people online saying, I can't imagine anyone else doing the voice. And it reminds me of when people will be like, oh, I can't imagine anyone else playing Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman, or I can't imagine any Tony Starks other than Robert Downey Jr.
Well,
and it's because you've only had the one so far.
The thing is, Mario is so like for almost 40 years. It's iconic. You know what I mean? Nintendo.
Well, he's only been doing the voice though since
that's true.
Hotel Mario, technically. But do you remember the first time you heard the voice? Because I do.
Yeah, I was like what mid to late 90s? No, mid 90s.
It was. Most people heard it for the first time in Mario 64. Technically, the first time he did it was for Hotel Mario.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the first time I heard the voice, I didn't like it. And obviously I grew to like it over time, but I honestly remember because in my mind, Mario's voice was more like the Mario Super Show because we grew up with that in the early 90s. And he was more, hey, paisanos. Like he was way deeper and not as high pitched.
Captain Lou.
So Chris Pratt, some more Chris Pratt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
but basically what I'm saying is if they changed it, I wouldn't mind. And I know you're talking about like if they lock it in and create it with AI and stuff. And I'm just thinking like I would rather they pay a voiceover actor and change the voice. I wouldn't mind it at all.
Yeah. It's like I think he's at a status in pop culture like Mr. Mr. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, like that. You know what I mean? Like he's such a pop culture like identity that even though yes they can use a new voice, they can do all this. I think his presence for Nintendo will still have a positive.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? And I think that's
he'll
why
be the original Mario voice, and I think he'll be signing autographs for that forever.
And I think that's why, as an ambassador, like, do we even know where he lives? I wouldn't be surprised he lives in Japan, close to Nintendo. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like I think he's for Mario as a character, I think he's done, even though he hasn't really done, his voice work's been more just sound effects and stuff like that compared to actual speaking per se. But I think it's so iconic that.
Oh, you know what? You just saying that made me think. I wonder if that's a part of this. If maybe moving forward they want Mario to have more because he had so much dialogue in the movie.
Yes.
Maybe moving forward they're like, well, the Charles Martinet voice doesn't work when you string it out over an entire conversation.
Yes.
And maybe we want more. Maybe we want a voiceover actor to do something different.
Well,
not Chris Pratt.
Because that's what I want in my platforming. Long cutscenes where Mario is just giving exposition.
Well, it works. It works, and there's lots of platformers that have dialogue. Don't act like it's not a thing, you know?
I mean, I guess I'm the meanie, but this news didn't really matter to me.
No, I think I was thinking about this news a lot yesterday, and I was kind of like checking and seeing like how I felt. But honestly, like when I think in any context, in any setting, if I hear someone has worked for a company for 25 years and they're retiring, and in this press release, there's no reason to speculate that something bad happened. So
no,
to me, it's just like I never see myself working 25 years for a place. So I just think that's awesome. So I'm more happy for him.
So it sounds like what you're all saying is you agree with me, and it's okay if they change the voice going forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's fine, but I'm more interested in this whole Momo conspiracy about how Nintendo owns his voice.
Trademark it. Yeah, why not? Why not?
I think it's a little bit messed up that he can't even talk to his family.
Well, it's like how Stephen Colbert doesn't own the character from the Colbert Report. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's like, it's my name.
Right. I mean, the reason why we can't get Charles Martinet on this podcast is because Nintendo has trademarked his voice, and I think that's really messed up. I mean,
well, why not? Like, why not?
It's funny because I'm probably going to end this episode with some clips of him as a tribute, but whatever.
Oh no!
yeah, and then they're going to get the Nintendo ninjas at your door.
Bring it on! We need the attention.
Yeah,
how our podcast blew up after a lawsuit.
That would work.
I'll take down the one episode. I could, you know what? I have the files. I'll just edit the episode. I'll take it out.
Yeah. Come on, guys. We're not talking about that Nintendo.
Yeah. So it sounds like everyone's out of thoughts there. But while we,
but speaking of online play, Mario Wonder, according to their Japanese site, will feature online capabilities, which will be announced later of what that is, whether it's co-op, whether it's mini games. But that's something a lot of people were talking about, whether this game will have online play, because it is featured. This is a game that's featured around multiplayer. So whether or not Nintendo was going to actually live in this generation and have that option.
Yeah, I mean, they do it for the Mario Party games and a few other things. So I'm glad to see that that's going to be available, because it honestly, if you're going to gear these type of games around multiplayer like they were doing with the new Super Mario Brothers games, you need multiplayer online available.
Right. And even if you're not going to use it, I just think it's necessary. Like they at least need to be making an effort to have the same options that everyone else has, or that we've had for a long time. So, for example, I'm going to play this game, but I probably won't use these features. But I am happy that it's there, and I shouldn't say surprised, because I know the community, but it is a bit surprising how many people were jumping to the conclusion that this game wasn't going to have online.
I think because didn't 3D World, which is like the most recent version of this type of thing, I don't think it had online play. So maybe they thought it was going to continue, and it had like the same characters for playing. So I think people were drawing a lot of comparisons there.
Yeah, I guess so. And I shouldn't be surprised, again, with the community. But when I heard people on Twitter or wherever talk about it, I just thought, I was like, do we know? Like, I wasn't sure if we actually knew, and we still don't know if it's going to be like online co-op, and if there's going to be online co-op, how well that's going to work.
There's a lot we don't know about this game. Have you all taken a close look at that trailer? Because there's some weird stuff going on in there. Mario Wonder, I want to know where this is taking place, because did you notice that the toads don't look like normal toads? They have like a different hat. It's like,
no, I didn't.
Go rewatch it. I noticed it. My last time watching the trailer is those aren't toads. They're not in toad houses. They have like, it's almost like the thing you see on Slowbro's tail in Pokemon. It's like a spirally hat, like a seashell hat instead of a mushroom. And it's really weird. I don't think that they're the same things. And I think this is in like an alternate universe Mushroom Kingdom.
Interesting.
It definitely looks like an alternate universe, or it looks like perhaps Mario ate something and was like transported.
Well, everything else has a multiverse now, so Mario's going to get his.
Yeah. Well, it looks like there might be multiple dimensions within this game. I think it's just like a big mystery, and I think I'm attracted to just the silliness of it, and the fact that it actually does look really good in the trailers.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking that. I think I'm going to get it late. I think I'm going to get it for Christmas, but that's definitely because Sean and I have talked about this a lot. I've bought my limit for games this year. The Super Mario RPG remake.
Yeah, me too.
That's the last one. I bought the voucher, and I got that one voucher sitting there waiting to use it on the Mario RPG. So I'm going to have to wait till Christmas to get Wonder, but I'll be getting it for sure.
Mm.
So I don't know if this was a Gamescom announcement, Sean, but I'm looking through the notes here and I see the next one is a game announcement. Oh, well, did anyone else have anything else to say about Mario before I move on?
Let's go.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a Gamescom announcement, but Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion is coming to Switch in November.
Memories.
Yep.
That brings back
that's
memories.
something they showed at Gamescom.
It is? Okay, cool. So
I'm the only one who doesn't remember Turok 3, huh?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I did not play this game, but I thought the trailer and the screenshots look pretty awesome.
I'm for sure interested because Turok. I also did not play this game. I remembered it existed, but I didn't play it because Turok 2 was one of those games I specifically remember getting for Christmas and playing like all Christmas Day. I love that one. And then I think they made a huge mistake with the franchise because I don't know if you guys remember what they did was the next game they put out was Rage Wars, Turok Rage Wars.
That I remember.
So that was literally just a multiplayer game. I know this gets overused all the time, but it's true in this case. It was basically what today would be DLC. It was just multiplayer maps, and that was the whole game. And so when Turok 3 got announced after that, I think I had already mentally checked out of the franchise and didn't pay attention. And I think that Rage Wars cost Turok 3 a lot of attention it would have gotten.
See, I thought 3 came out and then didn't have multiplayer, and they did Rage Wars after. So I'm
is that how it happened?
Misremembering when they came out.
I could be remembering it.
I don't know.
Look that up right now. Talk about Turok 3 while I do this.
For whatever reason, I don't remember Turok 3 at all. But yeah, no, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I gotta say.
And I think it's interesting. Like I saw in the wording, and it's going to be very similar, I think, Kevin, with the next game you're going to talk about. But in the wording that I saw is that this game is going to run up to 120 frames per second. So I think that wording is really funny, where it's like it can run up to this. But that doesn't it doesn't mean that it's going to run there or it's going to run there a lot. Like you could say it's going to run at 1 million. It could run up to 1 million frames per second, but it's not going to.
So I looked it up, and it was the way I said it. So and it's even worse now that I'm looking at the dates because they were less than a year apart. So Rage Wars came out in '99, and then like 8 months later, Turok 3 came out. So I think that really hurt Turok 3.
I just remember the multiplayer of Turok. It was in that time we had Perfect Dark, Turok, and 00 and James Bond, GoldenEye. Those were the 3 multiplayer games, like shooters, I remember playing as a kid.
Yeah, sure. I think it's interesting. Like this game's going to come out on multiple systems, and it seems like through this new or through this engine they're running it on, it seems like it might actually run better on systems that are not Nintendo, which I think it's always funny, like a Nintendo game that might run better on another system.
Yeah, because I already mentioned I have a PlayStation. It's funny to me when I go on PlayStation Plus and I see that one of the games they offer right now is Doom 64. It's like that's so specifically Nintendo to me. It feels wrong to play it on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I bet it runs better.
Yeah, but and also this game is going to have an achievement system. So hey, there you go, bringing it all back.
I wonder if it will on the Switch. If it'll have like, how some games on the Switch, Pikmin does this. Luigi's Mansion 3 does this.
Achievements.
Yeah, it's like
Vampire Survivor.
It's like
does
an menu. Like you open a menu and you see the achievements.
Yep.
I'll have to see if
it probably will do it.
I'll have to see if Turok 2 does that because I actually have that on my Switch. So
I might get these as a trilogy once they're all out, but
they're kind of like appropriately priced if I remember correctly. I think Turok 2 was only $20. So they don't price them like a full price game, even though it is a remaster.
So speaking of Night Dive Studios, are you going to talk about the next game?
Yeah, so I guess this must have been announced at Gamecoms as well. So I guess I do have Gamecom picks, Sean. I didn't even know I did.
I guess so. I don't know.
Well, that's why I was confused, because you're like, no. I'm like,
I thought it was
how are
happening
they
right
announcing
now.
this
That's
stuff?
why I was like, are you?
I
I was
didn't
like, are you
know.
looking at it on your phone? What are you talking about? Okay.
No. I haven't looked
Okay.
at today's. Like,
So yeah, I thought it was going on right now. So yeah, the next thing that what they announced, same company, Star Wars Dark Forces remaster was announced for Nintendo Switch, which I'm really excited about.
We are.
so I'm souped for that and confused as why it's taken this long. But I'm happy it's.
Well, they put
happening.
it out on PlayStation. I remember I actually still have it on my on my PSP. So it was on probably PlayStation 3 was probably the last time they released this game. But now this is a full remaster, so that'll be nice. If I remember correctly, the ending of the game, the last mission you go on, is to get the Death Star plans, which completely goes against Rogue One's telling of the events.
Well,
Mhm.
it's a Legends story
Yeah.
now, but yeah, I think you're right. But it was that, and the plot is the Dark Troopers being made. But see, I was a little surprised the company that's been doing the Star Wars re-releases didn't do this one, but it's fine. But this is the one I've been waiting for, because I'm not huge on Jedi Knight and all those other Dark Forces
Me
sequels.
either.
I love the original game.
I remember
So-
playing it on my dad. Remember playing it on the old floppy disk back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, Dark Forces. The opening to that game is that first level is so iconic. That very first level.
Well, I know what Sean's saying is I think we have a stronger attachment to this because it was one of those Star Wars things that came out during the dark ages of Star Wars where they weren't really making anything. And I know it's hard to imagine this, dear listener, but there was a time where Star Wars stuff was few and far between. There was like a drought from I think it was 84 to 95. And then they did Shadows of the Empire, which was actually just a marketing research thing to see if people were still interested in Star Wars so they could make the prequel movies. So what they did with Shadows of the Empire was an experiment where they wanted to see if people were still into Star Wars. And they said, what we're going to do is we're going to make everything a movie gets without actually making the movie. So we're going to do a novelization, we're going to do a comic book, we're going to do a video game, we're going to do a soundtrack, and we're going to do a toy line. And people bought all of it. So they were like, yep, interest is there. Let's make the prequels.
And that's my small hope, is that's what we're leading up to, is Shadows of the Empire remastered, which it may never happen, but I can dream.
Yeah, but so this was from that time before Shadows of the Empire, where it was like anytime you found something Star Wars related, you bought it because you were just so surprised to see a Star Wars thing in a store.
Yeah. And so Turok 3 and Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, same studio, Night Dive Studios, and it's going to be run on the same engine. So, and
achievements?
I was surprised because I was doing my notes last night, and then I looked over at your notes, Kevin, and I was like, wait a second, these notes, these are the same game. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, Night Dive Studios, which I don't know about, did both of these games. So the whole Gamescom thing is making sense now.
Yeah, the actual article specifically
Yeah.
says, I'll read this quote from it. Collaboration between Night Dive Studios and Lucasfilm. The games will be a high resolution experience with super smooth frame rates. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/X/S versions will feature 4K resolution and 120 frames per second. That's way more than 60.
Because that's what I need for a game from 95.
Yeah, where the stormtroopers are going to look like they're cardboard cutouts. Unless I don't know if they're redoing the character models, but in the original game, that's something that's it's like Doom. It's basically running on the Doom engine. It's everything looks 2-dimensional, which is charming. I like it. I'm not saying it as an insult.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it does look really clear in the screenshots.
Good, because I always got lost underwater in the original.
Oh, sorry, I'm going back to Turok. I meant the weapons in Turok.
Well, good. Turok always had the fog because it was on Nintendo 64, and they added fog to every game.
Yeah, that's very true. It looks good. I wonder. We don't know the price point, right? I wonder what that would
I'm
be.
just gonna guess
probably
it's probably
25.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what Turok 2 is right now because I can't imagine they'll price 3 differently than 2. They're both remasters.
Yeah, that'll be 20, and Dark Forces will be like 25 or something because it's Star Wars.
Looking it up live. Yep, $20. It's $20 for Turok 2.
All these remasters. Okay. Yeah, all these remasters of these type of games, like it's like, oh well, maybe Hexen's on the way, maybe this is on the way.
Please.
So
there's new ones there's like new ones every week now. Like I feel like
I'm never gonna.
I feel like this is I feel like this is like the third week in a row at least that we've been talking about some kind of remake or remaster.
Well, again, I'm putting this in my conspiracy theory pile where I think this is part of a strategy Nintendo has right now where they're getting everyone in the door so that when they launch the Switch 2 and say the same the same library is available plus new games, that it's just got this huge library you've been hearing about for the last year.
But this is Nintendo we're talking about. Are they really going to be like, oh yeah, your Switch games will carry over to the new one as well?
I think for the first time they will, because the Wii U almost had it. They had that thing where they charged you $1 to transfer it for some reason. But you could almost do it between the Wii and the Wii U. And yeah, I honestly think because we've also had that article from it's like a year ago at this point where Nintendo talked about how backwards compatibility is easier now than ever. And I think there was also an article where they were saying that they want their new system to carry over more like how the PlayStation libraries can do and things like that. So I don't know. I'm going to put my money on them not doing what they did with the Switch and making you rebuy a bunch of Wii U games.
Well,
so my favorite Gamescom announcement that wasn't Nintendo, but I just thought it was cool. So I think this past year, I can't remember, the Seventh Guest got a port on Switch. I don't know if you guys played that. It was kind of like it was a PC game, but it was like Myst combined with House on Haunted Hill, I guess is the best way to describe it.
I think I've seen that. I'm looking. Yeah. Okay. I've seen this somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe it's on PlayStation.
So that's a game I played a lot on PC and I enjoyed. And so they announced at Gamescom there's going to be a VR version of it. And I'm like, that's really cool. Is it
point and click?
Not enough for me to get that. It's like Myst.
I don't remember how
like
Myst
puzzle
played.
Solving.
Was it like the LucasArts games where you click and you get like the menu and stuff?
No, it was Myst is the only thing I can think of to compare it to.
All I could ever do in that game was walk around. I was a child and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I had it though. I think everyone had Myst.
It was a little less obtuse than that. I mean, I never beat it, but that was like my favorite non-Nintendo announcement so far. I was like, oh, that's really cool because it's like, oh, VR. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool walking around the mansion and solving puzzles and stuff.
It'll play great on the Virtual Boy Color when they put that out.
It will. It really will. But I don't know what got announced today, and I don't even know how long Gamescom lasts. So
it's like Woodstock.
Can I do one non-Nintendo announcement, but still related though? Did anyone see the new Atari 2600 Plus they're coming out with?
Oh, I keep forgetting to watch the trailer. Is it a console or?
So it almost looks like they're redoing the old console, but it's gonna have HDMI and whatever features are gonna make it better. But it's gonna be able to play all old Atari 2600 and 7800 games, and it's going to come with I think a cart that's going to have 10 2600 games on there, and it's still going to have the wood paneling, which I think is like really cool.
Oh, nice.
And I wasn't that interested. Like I'm not a collector, but it's $130, which I think that price point for an Atari collector is pretty cool. Like if you're like really into it.
Yeah.
And lastly, I didn't realize this, but the Atari 5200 has a lot of fans online. Like I didn't realize how many people loved the 5200. Had no idea.
All right, so yeah, that's a cool announcement too, and now I know what it is exactly.
Yeah, it looks just like an Atari. It looks just like a original Atari, and yeah, I guess if you still have old games for it.
And that's about all the news I had for this week. It sounds like everybody's out of news items, so we can move on to talk about this Spotlight game. F-Zero X is what came up randomly in the old randomizer last week. Came out in July of 1998 in Japan and October of 1998 in North America. We already last week talked about how 1998 is like one of the craziest years in gaming.
Oh yeah,
right. Because we said like, I mean, do you know where was this on the list of like best-selling games of this year? Did we say this last week? Because it was like way down, I think, on the list of the games. And actually, I'm surprised. Like F-Zero X did not sell very well. And do you guys have
no?
I
don't know. I thought it did pretty well. I guess not.
It sold less than 1 million copies.
Oh really?
Yeah, but
wow.
But do you?
Yeah, I mean, it came out in that 1998 year. It was competing with like everything, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, what are your guys' memories of this game in 1998 or around when it came out? Like, do you remember people playing it? Do you remember it being on sale? I mean, what do you remember?
I feel like maybe we rented it once. You didn't own that, right?
I didn't own it. No, that was because to go over. We already said this last week, but I'll reiterate it in case you missed that episode. So 1998, this game was competing with Metal Gear Solid, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Resident Evil 2, Xenogears, Banjo-Kazooie, Tomb Raider 3, Rogue Squadron, Rainbow Six, Mario Party, Vigilante 8, Medieval, Gex Enter the Gecko, Marvel vs. Capcom, Turok 2, 1080 Snowboarding. God, this was a huge year for video games. Like, all of those are considered like amazing games, you know. That's a lot of competition. Crash Bandicoot Warped. So yeah, big year for gaming. So I think that's why I didn't own this one, and honestly, I think we had Mario Kart at this point and we were good.
Yeah.
I remember playing it, but like I said, somebody rented it, but I feel like F-Zero had to be something everyone was into, and we never got big into F-Zero. So I didn't have a lot of experience with this game, but playing it now, I really enjoyed it. So
I think I never owned it as well. I just remember playing it, like renting it from Blockbuster years ago when Blockbuster was a thing. Yeah, my memories of it is like I just felt it was like try to be a much more mature Mario Kart in a sense, you know. They just try to like, Mario Kart's was all good and all that, but this was like the answer to like a more adult version. That's my opinion of it. But from what I remember, like the game was quick, it's fast. It's like you gotta like it's very twitchy. Like you gotta be really good, focused, really good to play it.
Playing this game the first time in a long time, and I should mention too, I've been playing a bit of Redout recently, And Redout is also
okay.
like a anti-gravity racing game, and it is super fast. Like I'm not good at all, but I think the graphics and everything are amazing. It's a super fast game, and playing F-Zero, it's definitely fast. It's definitely not a game I'm great at, but to me it felt slower than what I remember being like an 8-year-old kid and being like, oh, this is amazing, And I don't, perhaps it's playing on handheld as well, that perhaps it felt slower. I don't know, just recency bias. And also, I wasn't so sure about the controls in this game. Like, this is definitely a game where I felt like I could have really used an N64 controller instead of using the Joy-Cons.
I feel like that's a case with a lot of these N64 games. I mean,
That controller was so unique.
I did all right with it. I'm okay at the game. Like, I did everything on Novice, and I still couldn't beat like the third cup all the way. So I'm all right at it. I'm sure it's, if you get first place through the entire cup, you unlock other drivers and all that. And I know there's 2 other cups to unlock, but I think it held up pretty well. It felt faster to me, but I haven't played that other game, so the more zero grav tracks in Mario Kart 8 are the only thing that are close to this. Actually,
Rainbow Road is in this game.
Tracks in 8.
That's taken right from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
that as a
their
tribute.
version of it, right?
Yeah, they did it as like a tribute.
Yeah. I'm not like, it seems like some people online know a lot about this genre, because like I've played, like I'm playing Redout because I think it has a great career mode, and I've mentioned Fast RMX or apparently Fast Remix. I don't know which one it is.
There's also
That was a
Wipeout.
lot.
You remember the Wipeout games? That's like the same thing.
Yeah, Wipeout. And I think Fast RMX or Fast Remix was an inspiration by Wipeout and F-Zero. And that was, a launch title on Switch that, some people were saying it was the best looking launch title on Switch.
Also out in '98, Spyro the Dragon, Sonic Adventure, and Fallout 2. I didn't mention those.
Oh, I'll give you an interesting fact about this game. So this game came out in 2004 on the iQue, which was like the Chinese version of the N64. But basically, like the whole system was in the controller. And
I used to know what it was. Like, there was like something to do with some law in China made it so they couldn't get certain games, so they basically built them all into this one device, the ones that they could have.
So iQue featured the first time F-Zero had online play, and this is all the way back in 2004. And I think that's really cool. It's just a kind of a cool fun fact. And then I don't know if F-Zero had online play up until now.
It did have, I don't know if it had online play, but it was one of the few games that had an expansion on the 64 disk drive, which we obviously didn't get over here.
Yeah.
Right. And so I watched a video, shout out to Kelp. He compared the Switch online game F-Zero X to the disk drive N64 version, and the expansion has 12 extra maps in it. Like, it's a pretty massive expansion for this game. And he showed off like a ROM that he played on like an overclocked Switch, and I think it's a little bit unfortunate that like Nintendo won't just give us that game, because I think they easily could. And
yeah, for sure.
And like, why not? Like, it just has all the extra tracks, and like, if other people are able to do it and run it better than your game, then you can do it too. So I really wish that they would feature disk drive in the online service.
Hey guys, you know what else came out in 1998? NHL 99.
Oh, that was a banger of a game.
Hold my breath.
Also, Baldur's Gate.
Oh, there you go. Baldur's Gate.
A lot. I'm telling you, it's a crazy year.
So I'm just curious, because I F-Zero 1, I had played a little. This I'd played a little at the time. But all kind of the word of mouth around that series, when F-Zero GX came out, I did buy it. And then we never played it because it was so difficult.
Did you know that this is technically the third F-Zero game? Because I just found this out researching for this week's talk. Nintendo developed a sequel to the Super Nintendo F-Zero that they put out on that satellite view thing that we also didn't get over here.
Oh, I didn't.
It was probably just extra tracks. I couldn't find much details on what it was, but that would technically be the second F-Zero game.
So I'm just curious, did any of you guys try jumping in right at the start on the GameCube one, or this one really didn't make an impact and you just kind of didn't care?
This is the first one I played. I never played Super Nintendo, or at least not until... Or at least not until later, at least.
I love the Super Nintendo. I'm going to spoiler for when we get that on our list. I like the Super Nintendo one more.
Yeah, it's just not the one that I first played. But it's also not one that I had much of a connection with, too, because I think where this game lacks is that it's more of just it's a racing game, and that's great, and that's fine. It is exactly what it is. I do enjoy the death races or death mode.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
In this, does Mario Kart have a mode like that? They have battle, but they don't have
They have battle, but there's no
last person gets eliminated,
race.
or
there's no mode like that.
Or you have to throw people off the map, or that. So I feel like there is just in this game, it's there were just times where I wanted more, and that's not a very harsh criticism of the overall quality of the game.
Well, one thing I'd like to try this week on the podcast is I was reading old Nintendo Powers this week, and I remembered that when they reviewed games, they had these 5 categories they talked about for everything. So I thought it'd be cool if on the spotlights we just, we don't have to give a score, but just generally talk about these things. So we'll start with graphics. What did you guys think of the look of this game?
I thought it was weird that this had pop-in. That really stuck out to me.
Yeah, especially in the backgrounds. That was really weird. They were very flat, and like you said, they would have weird pop-in the cityscapes in the back and stuff.
For me, I didn't have very many issues with playing the game, and I'm interested to know what the online is like in this game as well. But I do love low poly graphics now. There's just something about it, and I really like the style of the vehicles. Of course, I didn't get to play too many this time, but yeah.
I would say it's one of the better looking N64 games available on the online overall. So.
But compared to last week when we did Yoshi's World, Yoshi's Story, in my opinion, that game looks way better than F-Zero. Now I'm comparing 2 extremely different games, of course, 2 very, very different.
No, I would. So I wasn't here last week, but I would agree that that's a better looking game. But I ranked it pretty low because I thought it was boring. So.
Yeah.
All right. How about controls? See, Harrison already kind of talked about the controls. We said it would have felt better with a Nintendo 64 controller. Sound.
I think once you figure out how to do it, they're okay.
Sound is a category where this game excels. I mean, F-Zero is up there with Mega Man as far as video game soundtracks go.
Yeah, the music's really good. I think all the sound effects and stuff are well done, so I think it's got excellent sound.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only control I know, because last time I played it was with the 64 controller, so that's all I know. So for me, the controls were good once you know how to use them. But the thing is, every time I hold a 64 controller now, sometimes I get a little bit confused. You know what I mean? Because you're so used to the drill sticks now that when you put your hand on the control, it's like, okay. What am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, and then for like the first couple, like a minute or so, and then you remember how to do this. Yeah, but sound design in that game is good. Visually, it's for its time. It's like from what I remember, was visually stunning. So, and that to me personally, it was at the time it was a very well done game.
Game design is the next category. It's a racing game.
I think the game design's pretty solid.
Yeah. Game design is solid.
I like that they changed how the speed boost works, where it comes out of your damage meter, because in the Super Nintendo game, like I was finishing almost every race with no damage. That meter was almost useless once you were good at the game. So I like that it kind of gave it purpose. That's some good game design.
And now you've explained that to me, because I didn't realize they were connected.
Oh, okay. And then satisfaction is the last category. Were you satisfied? I guess that comes in where we're going to rank it, so we can move into that.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't feel like this is not, to me, like a Nintendo's got a Nintendo type of game. Like I didn't feel like, even if I didn't do well, I didn't feel frustrated. So
yeah,
the overall control, responsiveness. I think it's all good. And yes, going into the rankings, I think this is a fine game to play. It's much different than most other games on the system, and it might be the best game with online play that we've reviewed so far. I guess that's debatable.
I ranked it at number 16, which puts it right above Sin and Punishment. Sorry, Sean. If I'm thinking about which one I'd rather play this.
Okay.
So
I'm all alone on that. It's all right.
And it's also above
so
Mean
I
Bean
put
Machine would be the next one.
Yeah, I put it at number 12, so it's above Mean Bean Machine, but it's under Mario Party 2, because I enjoyed it. There's going to be better stuff that comes along, but, I mean, for being something I felt was more inaccessible when I was a kid, whereas as an adult, I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you play this. So I can enjoy it now, and it kind of makes me hope that they bring the series back, next console.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I hope the next console launches with all their dead franchises, like boot it up and have a Kid Icarus game, have an F-Zero game. What else? Ice Climber 2.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Ice Climbers.
We can't get through an episode without mentioning Ice Climbers. I'm gonna put it at number 10. I'll put it actually right above Sin and Punishment. And I'll put it right below.
It feels kind of right to compare the two for some reason.
Kirby's Dream Land.
No, I mean, honestly, out of the N64 games we've played, that's really the only one that even makes sense to compare.
Yeah, but yeah, and I would totally agree as far as like the game and Sin and Punishment has one of the best soundtracks as far as out of the games that we've played. But
yeah,
what's really staring at me are those GBA Super Mario games that we that we reviewed.
Just lumped together.
It's like 12, 13, 14, 15 are all of these like Super Mario Advance, Super Mario World. Not bad games, but games that we just kind of lumped together. But regardless, this is definitely a game that I think is worth playing in the online service, for sure.
Mm.
And now we'll find out what we're playing next week for the Spotlight. Sega Genesis game Golden Axe 2. I think they have both of them on there, so we're skipping the first one because of the randomizer. But yeah, Golden Axe 2 is what we're playing next week. So,
boy, we are on a Sega N64 kick.
Golden Axe.
That's what happens when you. Do you know about how Apple, the original iPod random feature, didn't work? You ever hear about that?
Oh, you told me about that.
So if anyone doesn't know, what we do to pick these games is we have a randomizer that we use where I put all the games in there and it picks it at random. And the original Apple iPod, when you would put it on shuffle or you would put it on random, sometimes you would get a chunk of songs in a row that were in a row on the album. So people started complaining and saying, this isn't random. Like, look, these songs are all in a row. So they had to create an algorithm that made it seem random, but it was actually doing things like making sure you didn't get too many in a row and stuff like that. So we don't have that in our randomizer. So yeah, sometimes we're going to get a lot of the same stuff coming up, but
no, I mean, I think it's great because, yeah, Golden Axe is fun. So.
Looks like old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up type game. Brawler.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an arcade
base.
style, hit the guys a lot and then move forward type of game. That's a category, right?
Beat up the dwarves for their treasure.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to ride dinosaurs.
Oh, yes, I can see that. Yes, I was looking at one of the photos. Yes, and it blows fire. Oh, very nice.
Dinosaurs. So,
Dino DNA.
as always, keep in mind here, we are Nintendo fans, not Nintendo experts. So if you have any other thoughts on Charles Martinet retiring or becoming an ambassador or whatever, or Gamescom or Turok 3 or anything we talked about this week, F-Zero X, leave us a comment below on Spotify. If you're hearing this on YouTube, do it there. I don't know if I've put them on YouTube yet. I'm going to eventually. And let us know anything we might be forgetting to talk about. You can email us if you don't want to leave the comments at nintendotherapypod@gmail.com. And we have a Twitter, although I'm on there a lot less lately, Nintendo Therapy on Twitter.
Yeah, but with the Twitter, how about if people post their on the Twitter account, post their version of their Mario voice? Wahoo! Let's go.
I don't know what Twitter is. I
don't know if anything's better than yours, Momo.
Thank you.
Well,
I like yours.
If yours is better, leave us a comment.
Yeah, please.
And be like, and then be like, actually, that wasn't that good. Here you go.
Awesome. No, that wasn't Yoshi.
Yeah.
I can't do Yoshi.
No, that was good. Wow, you can do.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's go.
All right, now the real Charles Martinet.
Oh, were we waiting?
Yeah, we're queuing.
It's me, Mario. Press start to play. Ha! Hello. Here we go. Let's go. Okie dokie. Yahoo! Waha! Yeehaw! Yippee! Wah! Yeah! Ooh! Hoo! Whoa! Oh! Oof! Yeah! Oof! I'm tired. Nighty. Spaghetti. Ravioli. Mamma mia. Mamma mia! Boing! Game over. So long, Bowser. Thank you so much for playing my game. Bye-bye.